Today I want to talk about the concept of getting critical mass in your business. So one of the challenges most business owners are facing is that they keep hitting this glass ceiling and they just aren't able to take their business past a certain stage. So when we talk about getting critical mass, let's talk about first of all what I mean. So critical mass in really simple terms means that we have started off slowly and we start this trajectory, also known as a J curve for some people, or exponential growth. But how do you get exponential growth within your business? Well, there's a couple of things that need to happen, and they need to happen in a particular order so that you can grow your business. Now, the first building block is really getting out of chaos and getting into control. Now, what does that mean? That means that you need to actually not be running ragged every day. You're not supposed to be pressure prompted. You're actually going to have some sort of structure around what you do. So this usually incorporates things like having vision or clarity of the future. The second part is having a planning process within your business. So you're constantly rerouting your plan according to what's happening in the business and in the economy. And the last piece of the chaos to control puzzle is getting some tracking in place. Now, putting these three elements in place may not see immediate jumps in growth of your business, but you'll start to see some incremental changes occurring as you move along this trajectory of time. Okay, and if we start moving towards the critical mass area, so when we talk about critical mass, what is that? That's usually around this point here on the graph where people start to see exponential growth within their business. Now, the problem with exponential growth is at the start it's very, very small, and then as it compounds, it starts to accelerate itself. So what's the second phase that we need to be looking at here? Well, the second phase we need to be looking at is once we've gone from chaos to control, we need to start thinking about cash flow, right? But we don't just need to think about cash flow. We need to start thinking about building a cash flow engine. Now, what is a cash flow engine? A cash flow engine is a series of workflows that you use within your organization. Now, the first one is what we call the acquisition engine, and that's about how do we get new clients. Now, that includes everything from marketing and sales all the way through to getting that first order. The second cash flow engine that you need to build is the delivery engine, which is once the order comes in, how do we make sure that we deliver our product or service in a timely manner and get paid? Now, the reason we call these cash flow engines is they are workflows. It's not just you doing the work, but it's actually laying out the process so it can be communicated to other people, which brings us into the next point, which is where critical mass starts to occur. So critical mass starts to occur when we start building what's known as a self-managed team. Now, a self-managed team means that they actually know what's expected of them. They actually know how to do their job, and so they're running their sort of their department or their role through self-management, which means you don't have to be there every single day to monitor them. Now, the reason this is important is that as a business owner, you are going to run out of your most valuable asset, which is time. And the busier you get in business, the busier you get as an individual, and that becomes one of the constraints in growing. So in order to get to this idea of critical mass, there's three quite large pieces of work that need to be developed. So the first one is to get you out of chaos. So as we mentioned, getting clarity on where you're going, how your planning process works, and how do we measure the performance of the business. The second phase is going to be about the cash flow engine or the workflows. And there's two. There's one which is about acquisition. How do we get new clients into the business? And the second one's about delivery. How do we deliver our product or service in an efficient way and profitably? The third piece is once we have that, then we can find the right team members and we can bring them on board. So the self-managed team component has three pieces to it. The first piece is recruiting the right people into your business. Now, most people know that attitude is more important than skill, but the majority of recruitment processes rely on skills as an assessment of the quality of an employee. So once we've got the right people on the bus, then we need to effectively delegate the functions within the cash flow engine to those people and make sure they're doing their job correctly. And the final piece of the puzzle is we want to retain our good employees. So we need to make sure that once we've trained them up, that there is some sort of runway for them to stay with the company, or else we're going to lose that momentum and we're not going to achieve critical mass. So if we build these three elements into your business, you will start to move towards this idea of critical mass, and you will start to see accelerated growth within your business.